there was a helicopter crash near Gaurikund which took 7 lives. But what is more tragic is that this is not a singular incident. Rather, such incidents have taken place multiple times in last 6 weeks, which is raising a question: is there some sort of safety crisis with the Char Dham Yatra? Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Simplified, and today we are going to discuss this chopper accident that has taken place, and we'll be also looking into the causes related to harsh weather conditions and other regulatory oversights which have led to such accidents in recent past. So basically, a helicopter crashed near Gaurikund and it led to death of 7 people. Now, this particular helicopter chopper was being operated by Aviation in Guptkashi, and it was returning from the Kedarnath pilgrimage to Guptkashi, and all the pilgrims, including the pilot, have not survived this crash, and all the people who were on this particular ride were the pilgrims to the Char Dham Yatra. Now, this particular incident, we also have to understand that it was the 5th aviation mishap that has happened in last 1.5 months since the Char Dham Yatra had begun, and this particular incident has finally highlighted the issue of safety, especially when we are trying to build religious tourism in the Char Dham Yatra circuit. So finally, Chief Minister of Uttarakhand has formed a safety oversight committee to look into the key issues related to such accidents which have been happening. Now that we have a fair idea of this particular incident, let us look into the location as well. So this is the map of Uttarakhand, and it has happened near Gaurikund in Rudraprayag. Now moving ahead, let us also look into the incidents that have taken place in recent past. So when we talk about last 6 weeks, this is not a singular incident, as I have already pointed out. It was on May 8th, 2025 that a helicopter which was going to Gangotri, it crashed in the Uttarkashi district and it left 6 people dead. There have been other accidents as well. Thankfully, there were no further lives which were lost. For example, on May 12, a chopper which was returning from Badrinath, it made a serious emergency landing in a school playground. Then on May 17, heli ambulance that was coming from AIIMS Rishikesh, it crashed near the Kedarnath helipad, the videos of which have been circulating on social media. And then on June 7, recently itself, a chopper which was going to Kedarnath, it made an emergency landing again on the road itself because there was a technical fault. And now this incident has taken place where we have lost 7 lives. So this clearly indicates that there are certain concerns associated when we are talking about the safety of the airplanes, we are talking the safety about helicopters in this particular scenario. When we are talking about helicopter crashes, harsh weather conditions can be seen as the key factors which either are directly responsible for such accidents which are taking place or have played an important key role because of which such mishappenings have been occurring. So let us try and look into these key factors. For example, there is reduced visibility whenever there is harsh weather conditions, especially when we are talking about Char Dham pilgrimage, which is mountainous. The fog or rain or snow reduces the visibility, which increases the collision risk. Furthermore, in such terrains, we also find strong winds. They disrupt the control of the choppers, especially during the takeoff and landing. And these are the phases wherein maximum attention of the pilot is required. There is multiple tasks associated with it, and there is main dependence on the engine. There is heavy load on the engine which takes place. Apart from that, there are other reasons as well when we are talking about harsh weather condition. There is icing in mountainous regions, so ice on rotors or airframe, it reduces the lift associated with the chopper and the control that the pilots have. The engine performance, especially in high altitude where the temperatures are low, the engine power is heavily affected, which affects the climb of the helicopter as well as the takeoff. And because of the heavy load on the engine scene or the control or mechanical failure, we see such mishappenings taking place. We also have turbulence, basically sudden changes of altitude in the mountainous region or stormy areas where there are strong winds or storms present there, which results in turbulence and sometimes loss of control. Other than that, the main reason, especially for the Char Dham pilgrimage, this is the mountainous terrain, because here we have the enhanced risk because of the downdrafts present, turbulences as well as poor visibility. So harsh weather conditions are already a difficult place to operate for choppers and helicopters. Further, mountainous region brings these all harsh weather conditions almost at one place, increasing the risk of mishappenings or such tragedies, accidents at once, and this increases the risk all the more. Now that we have also understood the reasons where we see the mishappenings, it is not just the harsh weather and we cannot put the blame on nature and get on with it. There are other reasons as well where we can see the presence of, and there have been multiple underlying concerns apart from the natural conditions or weather conditions, such as technical faults. Multiple incidents have taken place which are present due to the mechanical issues. And these mechanical issues can be directly attributed to the recent incident that we have seen in the Char Dham Yatra, and where we are pointing out to this particular safety crisis. Other than that, there is also infrastructure load. When we are talking about the overburdened helipads, there has been the record-breaking pilgrims visiting Kedarnath and Char Dham this year, and this high traffic from thousands of pilgrims has already exceeded the infrastructure capacity, due to which these overburdened infrastructure, including the helipads, including the choppers, as well as the infrastructure around it, has suffered, which has led to these accidents. Other than that, we also are clearly worried about the lack of regulations. For example, if we talk about the operators, we have to understand there has to be a constant scrutiny monitoring. DGCA has suspended the Kestrel Aviation after this particular crash, but the post-mortem work will not work, because we need to take preventive measures. We need to make sure that the regulations are in place so as to prevent such mishappenings rather than working on after they have happened. Other than that, we are also seeing that at present there have been strict guidelines which have been mandated, especially for helicopter operations after this incident. And there has been an independent probe committee which has been made so as to make sure that such incidents decrease or do not occur at all after the formation of this committee, and once they have highlighted what are the concerns and how they can be addressed. We also need to understand here that there are many safety recommendations that are already in place and they need to be followed properly. For example, if I talk about the rotor safety zone, they are mandatory around helipads. Other than that, there are mandatory technical audits for the helicopters before the yatra season begins, and limiting flight frequency, especially during peak hours. Even if these safety recommendations would have been properly eliminated, the accidents we have been seeing, especially in the past 6 weeks, some of them could have been averted. What do you think about this? What are the key issues that are increasing the problem associated with infrastructure, be it aircraft crashes, helicopter crashes, bridges collapsing? You can put it down in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.